Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I would like to welcome you all for His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Please accept my humble obeisances and thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I would like to share the screen with your permission, Maharaj, for today's verse. So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, which is Questions by Vidura, and the verse 13. Is it visible, Maharaj?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do something else here.
Okay.
I got a split screen here. I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't know. There's a split screen in my thing and I can't get rid of it. I can see half gallery and half screen. I can't see the whole screen. Okay, now I got it. I got it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Maharaj, there will be icon on the top of your gallery screen, which you can, so that you can minimize it.
I'm
No?
okay. Everything is
fine. Okay.
Sa esha dosha purusha duvaste griham pavistayam apatyamatya punasi krishna vimukha gata shri gata shri twajaswa saivam kulakal salyalam. What happened? Where'd you go? Why are you playing with the screen for? Now we lost.
Sorry, Maharaj, my computer has got its own mind. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Translation: You are maintaining a fence personified Duryodhana as your infallible son, but he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are thus maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, You are devoid of all auspicious qualities. Relieve yourself of this ill fortune as soon as possible and do good to the whole family. Uh-oh. No, I can't see part of the purport because you moved it. All right, stay there. Don't go. Purport. A good son is called apatya, one who doesn't allow his father to fall down. The son can protect the father's soul when the father is dead by offering sacrifices to plead the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This system is still prevalent in India. After death of his father, his son goes to offer sacrifices at the lotus feet of Vishnu at Gaya and thus delivers the father's soul, if the father has fallen. But if the son is already an enemy of Vishnu, how in such an immemical mood can he offer sacrifices unto Lord Vishnu's feet? Turn off that heater. Isn't it hot in here? Turn it off. Lord Krishna is directly the personality of Godhead Vishnu, and Duryodhana was inimical to him. He would therefore be unable to protect his father Dhritarashtra after his death. He himself was to fall down because of his faithlessness towards Lord Vishnu. How then could he protect his father? Vidura advised Dhritarashtra to get rid of such an unworthy son as Duryodhana as soon as possible, if he was at all anxious to see the good of the family. According to the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, what is the use of a son who is neither a learned man nor a devotee of the Lord? If a son is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he is just like blind eyes, a source of trouble. A physician may sometimes avoid the extrication of such useless eyes from their sockets so that one can be relieved of the constant trouble. Duryodhana was exactly like blind, troubling eyes. He would be the source of great trouble for the family of Dhritarashtra, as foreseen by Vidura. Vidura therefore rightly advised his eldest brother to get rid of this source of trouble. Dhritarashtra was wrongly maintaining such fence personified under the mistaken impression that Duryodhana was a good son able to liberate his father. Om Gyan Timidandasya Ganajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharini Nirvsesa Sunyavadi Vasyatya Sutarine Vanshakopa Tirubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here verses some good advice coming from Vidura to Dhritarashtra, who can't really accept any advice because he is blind, not only physically, but spiritually blind also. He's attached. He's attached to his family members who are actually, you might say, the cause of his undoing. This is called skin disease, getting attached to a family member, although the family member is actually working against the family, as in the case here is the Duryodhana. But a person who is attached cannot accept or even want good advice. And therefore, It's like throwing ghee on ashes. Ghee is very nice. You put it on a fire, and it causes the fire to blaze even brighter, but ashes are no longer a fire, they're just burnt out. Throwing ghee on ashes means just a waste of ghee. That was a waste of time and energy to try to speak to someone who can't hear. Sometimes we see in our Krishna conscious movement, we try to preach to people, but they can't hear. No matter how hard we try, how many different angles of that we may approach the subject matter from. Now, as Prabhupada said, their ears are plugged. They're determined not to change. They're determined not to listen. So, therefore, ultimately, what is the use? Why waste time? But because sometimes the attachment to family members are so strong that one will accept distress in the name of family relationships. And you see, nowadays, at least in my experience, I see families are the biggest cause of problems for the family members. People don't have so much enemy outside as they do within the family. And this goes on everywhere in different countries, especially in India, where the families are very closely knit. And therefore, sometimes one takes the role of spokesman for the family, even though they're not qualified to do so, just because of some position. And they speak on terms of material prosperity, material benefits. When devotees sometimes a person wants to become a devotee, their biggest obstacle is their family members who have other ideas and think that they are in a position to dictate how their family member should organize their life. Sometimes even persons who are married, the family members, the fathers, the elders, they want to control the marriage also. And there's a strong attachment. Attachment gets so strong that Prabhupada tells one story about one great philanthropist. His name was Kailash. And Kailash, he was an entrepreneur. He was a businessman, and he had a large family. So, by the arrangement of Providence, he met Narada Muni, and Narada Muni started to preach to him. Kailash was getting old, and he said to Kailash, I think you should now just leave the family and go to a holy place and now practice the goal of life, Krishna conscious. Now, Kailash said, that is very nice, but, I have my family members here, and soon they will have to take over the business. And they don't know how to organize themselves. I am their father, therefore I have to stay with them and until they can get settled in their business. So Narada left. After some time, Narada was passing by the same place and he thought of Kailash and he came back. And then he went to Kailash. Kailash was still there and he was even elder now. He was really old. And he said to Kailash, okay, the family members have taken over the business. Now you can go. And you can use the rest of your life for the goal of life, Krishna conscious. And Kailash said, yes, but my family members, they have their children. and they don't know really how to raise their children properly. I am their grandfather, and therefore I have to stay here and raise the children, help them raise their own children. So Narada came a little disgusted, but he left. After some time, he came back again, and he came to the place where Kailash's house was. And then he went in, and the family members were there, but no Kailash. So Narada said, "Oh, where's your grandfather, Kailash?" "Oh, he died." Oh, Narada was thinking, "Oh, I wasn't able to help him." So Narada started to leave the house, and then he was walking across the property. A dog came up to him, and the dog came up to Narada and said, "Narada, I'm Kailash." "Oh, I became a dog in the yard of my family." Narada said, "It's not too late. Come down. You can become Krishna conscious." But the Kailash in the form of a dog said, "But I'm the guard dog for the house. And so the family members will need, someone to guard the house, so I can't go." Roof, roof. So Narada went on, and he went, and then he came back after some time to check out the dog. And then he was walking around the property. He didn't see the dog. So he went into the house. He asked the family members, "Where's that dog you used to have out here?" "Oh, he died." And then Narada was feeling bad. So he walked down, and he's walking across the property, and one snake slithers up to him, says, "Narada, I'm Kailash. I became a snake." So Narada said, "All right, it's not too late. Come." But the snake, Kailash in the form of a snake, said, "The dog died, and there's nobody to guard the house, so I have to stay here and guard the house." So Narada went inside the house, said to the family members, "You have a snake in your yard." They said, "Oh." So they came out with sticks, and they start beating their grandfather in the form of a snake. And Bernarda says, "Kailash, are you ready now?" "Yeah." So what does it take to get detached from family life? So this is the way of the world. How people, even in the most difficult and unhappy circumstances, stay attached to friends and family members who cannot give them anything and simply cause them trouble. But this is called skin disease. So here we can see the other. He was like a blind eye, and a blind eye can cause trouble to the person and pain. So the blind eye is blind. So the doctor may recommend taking out the eye so that the pain can be relieved. But still, the blind eye wants to stay there, or the person wants to keep the blind eye. So yeah, to stay attached to family life, despite the fact that they cannot support you or even work against you, is actually not very sensible. And so here we see Dhritarashtra. He's so attached to his son. He knew his sons were avaricious. That was not unknown to him, but still he supported them. When Krishna came in the form of a messenger to try to convince both Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana to give some villages for the Pandavas to manage. They were Kshatriyas. They didn't even want the whole kingdom, which was actually their rightful heir, but Krishna came as a compromise messenger. And Duryodhana, of course, he completely refused and said, I will never give enough land to put a head of a pin on. Krishna turned to Dhritarashtra and said, can't you talk some sense into your son? He said, I've been trying, but I can't. He wasn't actually trying. He was just saying that because he wanted to say something to Krishna to pacify Krishna, but actually he was so attached that he wasn't making any effort to change the mind of his son. And then, of course, that was the reason why there was a war. Krishna tried to avert a war, but Duryodhana acted in such a way that there was no other alternative but then to fight on the side of the religious principles. And that was the cause. So when a person is so um, determined in their wrong activities, wrong consciousness, you can speak all day, all night, even for many millenniums, and nothing will change. So in our Krishna consciousness society, we preach. And many times people will listen, but they will not accept. Or they will think that Krishna consciousness is something like another way to live life. They cannot see the benefit of Krishna consciousness as being the ultimate goal of life and the process of eternal happiness and transcendental knowledge. And so to preach in this age of Kali, or to reach out to people in this age of Kali, is very difficult because people are so attached to their family, friends, economic position, or whatever situation they have created in this material world. And even though it gives them trouble, even though it causes them so much hardship, they won't give it up. just like a blind eye can't do any benefit, but still remains within the eye, the socket of the suffering man. So this is, we can see how Vidura, he's a Vaishnava, and he knows what is the actual goal of life. He knows that his family members, especially Duryodhana, is greedy and envious of the Pandavas, and is also vicious enough to try to destroy them. And Dhritarashtra is not oblivious to his son's character, but still he's attached. So it says life after life, you get a father, you get a mother. But in one particular life, you get a guru. And that is the source of your success in life. Somehow you can come in contact with a bona fide spiritual master. Because no matter what species of life we're in, every life there's a father and a mother. We have forgotten our previous lives, what bodies we're in, who was our father, who was our mother, who was our friends and relatives. Everything's wiped away when the soul leaves the body. And then there's another chapter where we begin all over again with a whole set of new living entities who play different roles in relationship to our body. But we get so attached to that, thinking that is the all in all, and not wanting to actually take time to enter into the real family, the family of Krishna, the family of devotees, which is our real family, because that family is the family where you can find the happiness of family life, where the spiritual master represents the father, his god brothers are our uncles and aunts, god brothers and god sisters. Krishna is the grandfather, and all living entities are sons, parts and parcels of Krishna. And everyone has an equal status in relationship to Krishna. And if we determine that status, where every living entity is non-different than me, although they may be in a different body, then we're seeing through spiritual knowledge or through real knowledge, what is called that knowledge, which is the actual foundation to bring one to the platform of liberation or freedom from the cycle of birth and death. So everyone likes family life, but there's the real family is the families of the devotees, because the devotees act for the benefit of each other and supporting each other in their relationship with both the father and the grandfather, who is Krishna himself. Because family life in this world is opposite. I remember I was preaching in one place in Cincinnati, Ohio, and one of the congregational members, he became my friend. He was unmarried. He was living with his father, mother, and brother, and he was quite poor. He wasn't very rich. So one day he invited me to come to his house. So I did. I came in, very simple house, walked into the door, and immediately you're in the living room. And the father is sitting there watching television, some sporting event. So I just walked in. And then there was a curtain dividing the room into two. And on the other side of the curtain was his brother watching a sporting event in another room, different television, same room divided by curtains, looking. So I concluded that maybe they're watching two different channels, but then I realized they were watching the same thing. Two different televisions, two different people in the same room divided by the curtain watching the same thing. So I got to the point I had to ask, why are they watching the same thing in two different areas? And then the answer was, just in case one wants to change the channel, it doesn't disturb the other one. Family life. So, so what can I say? I just thought, boy, this is ridiculous. So yes, and so, but Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanapran, Krishna is our mother. Well, we have some regard to those persons who come together according to our similar karma and play the role as family members. But what is our relationship to them is that if we can help them become devotees, then that relationship is very wonderful. And you have a family within a bigger family, and everyone is working to support each other. But but a lot of times that's not happening, where the family members are the biggest enemies of those who become the devotees. Therefore, Bhakti Siddhanta he was talking about anger, and someone asked about what is justified anger. And then he said, you can get angry in a justifiable way in three different occasions. One, when you look at yourself and you see how lazy you are, get angry at yourself, which may help you to get out of your laziness. Two, get angry at family members who try to block you in your Krishna consciousness. And three, what's the last one? To get angry at the demons who are causing so much trouble in the world. That was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's response to what is justifiable anger. So yeah, so our real family is the spiritual family, because Once we enter that, that becomes our eternal family. And that maintains beyond the body. Even when we leave the world, Prabhupada says we'll come back and create the ISKCON society in the spiritual world. And you'll see all of your friends and former family members in the spiritual world, and you'll be back in the real family, the spiritual family, and you'll be able to recognize each other as who you were in the illusion of material existence. So, therefore, one should enter into the real family, the Krishna conscious family, and to try to bring their family members into that also. And if they don't want to come, what is the use of such family? Because it just becomes a burden. That's all. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for giving us so many important points about the attachment to the family and how it obstructs in our spiritual life and what should we do as well. Not only just what is the problem, but the answer as well. And three ways we can be angry. Apart from that, we should control our anger as well. And another best point was that we can go as a God family to back to Godhead and we can be happy there. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It'll be nice if you can put your video camera on so that we can have a nice interactive class. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand or type it in the chat and I'll read it on your behalf. I'm sure this is such a practical topic and you all will have so many questions. Okay, Amritana Mataji has already raised hand. Go for it, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisance, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, very practical topic and uh, common problem zone. So, anyways, the thing is, we are raised in a spiritual atmosphere with one theory of Srila Prabhupada, and for us, center is one. So that is why we are able to bond easily with each other, and we gel easily with each other. So we make a good God family, but when our each one of has the material family, but when this material family see us who has raised us right from the childhood, that they see us in happy in a different community more than with them, they definitely get envious. So how to deal with them when they are in this envious phase?
Come along, join the group. You'll be happy too. You don't have to be envious. You can share the happiness that we're sharing with each other and turn even our biological family into a spiritual family. Yeah. That's what Vidura was trying to do to Dhritarashtra. Bring him into the spiritual family and get rid of his material relationship. But, that maybe they won't change. But if you can get family members to at least be favorable, or if they're able to accept being favorable, then there's no necessary to leave the family. But like it says in the scriptures, and this is spoken by the Supreme Lord himself, one should not become father, one should not become mother, one should not become guru, one should not become a teacher unless they can deliver their followers, their disciples, their sons and daughters from the cycle of birth and deaths. So to take a position of what we say authority in the family, such as the mother or the father, their duty is to bring their children up and direct them towards spiritual life and not simply turn them into a material cog that simply has to eat, sleep, work, make some money, and die. So it's nice to get onto a little bit of a um, way to try to encourage them, but ultimately, yeah, they're incorrigible, many of them, and they won't change. But if they don't hinder a person's spiritual life, then one can say stay in the family, and then what will happen is the family members, if they're not mimical or negative, they will also get the benefit of their family member who is a devotee. And they will also start to move closer and closer or more favorable to spiritual life. So not to give them up, but to somehow or other make them at least favorable. And that's the least you can do. If you can make them Krishna conscious or bring them into Krishna consciousness, that's the success of family life.
Does that help, Amritanam Mataji?
Just one follow up that as we go ahead in our sadhana, usually it happens that our tolerance and our capacities they grow. So our so is it a fair idea that we keep because since it is within our tolerance, we keep tolerating them until it's within our tolerance. So because that is how because usually they don't change in one go, or they take a quite a long period of time
Yeah, you
because they're
just have to be determined not to be influenced by them.
Hmm.
That's hard when you're living in the same environment. But therefore, you always have to be on the offensive, not always on the defensive. You're wasting your life. You're getting old. Your body's breaking down, and you don't know where you're going to go after death. You can talk to them like that. You might be a monkey somewhere in, a palace, but still you're a monkey. So be on the offensive. Speak to them about, the goal of life and how they're wasting their time not taking up the goal of life. And explain that the goal of life is enunciated by the great souls, Krishna himself. What is Krishna? People in India accept the Bhagavad Gita, but what does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? Worship me. So if you accept the Bhagavad Gita, but you don't accept the person who's speaking the Bhagavad Gita, then you don't accept the Bhagavad Gita. So be a little philosophical. That's what Vidura did. He kept becoming so philosophical until at one point, Duryodhana really offended him so badly that he left home for a while. But still, he didn't forget about his family. He didn't forget about Dhritarashtra. He came back. After the battle was over, Duryodhana was gone. He came back to save his brother. And you'll see the intrigue. It comes up in this canto a little later on. How hard he how much time and energy he spent trying to save his brother. And he was successful. He was successful. Because we can speak on the basis of truth and not on the basis of opinion. What we're saying is backed by Shastra. What we're saying is backed by tradition. by culture, by God himself. So our authority is there. So we live according to that, and we can also try to inspire others according to that also. So if they're trying to make difficulty for you to practice, you make it difficulty for them to live their useless life by preaching them to them.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
then
for nice questions, practical ones, Mataji. And Gurmat, that was a really good point that make their life difficult by preaching them.
yeah, because they're making your life difficult by trying to go against what you believe.
Brilliant. Thank you.
They're taking away from the goal of life. Their duty as family members is to make their children Krishna conscious. You have become Krishna conscious. In that sense, they've been successful. But they're going to hell, and you're gonna go back to the spiritual world.
Thank you so much. Jai
Thank
Radha
you, Guru
Madhav.
Maharaj.
You can
I like
challenge them.
I like
You
the
can
last statement, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for that.
you can you can challenge them by saying, "What are you going to be in your next life? Do you know?"
Oops.
If you stay on the defensive, then all you do is tolerate, to deal with you. And then they can do less attacking to you and more defending themselves
Very nice
until they get
strategy.
tired.
Very nice strategy.
Until they get tired of defending themselves, and then they surrender. They can see you're happy. They can recognize you're happy, but they won't accept it, but they can recognize.
Yeah. Jai Radha Madan Prabhu has raised the hand.
And in your case, you've been transformed. You've been coming up from somewhere that was less than acceptable. Now you have all good qualities. You are worshiping the Supreme Lord. You're doing service for the society. You're helping others. You're generous. You're kind. You're responsible. All of that has come by way of your connection with emotional life. You can tell them that also. Go on the offensive, but do it in a very sweet way, but in a very determined way. Don't compromise for the sake of just, agreeing with them. All right, bro.
Jai Radha Madan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, like I have, being a grahastha, like I didn't knew, well, actually my wife is also a devotee, so I didn't knew what kind of much challenges comes after being a father. So like after marriage, it was quite okay for me to manage sevas and me doing all the services in the temple. But now it's very difficult for me. And but still, I wanted to know like what kind of a mindset I should have and what kind of mindset I should have after coming at home from the job and to make my family and keep my family Krishna conscious with God Sundar and my wife together.
Well, your son is only 3 months old, so you can't really preach to him. So
We chant Hare Krishna for him.
yeah, so give him some spiritual sound vibration, and What else? Yeah, make sure he eats only prashadam.
Sure, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, and support your wife. She needs the support of her husband when the child is very young. That's important. The husband shouldn't leave all the responsibility for taking care of the child onto her. She needs support in order to do that service. So you can be there for her and maybe do some services, but at least she feels like now she doesn't have to take on all the responsibility, and she shares the responsibility. So it becomes more joyful instead of more of a duty, you know.
Sure. Thank you so
That,
much, Guru Maharaj.
that was a very weak sure. Can you do sure a little better than that?
Yeah, sure, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Great.
Hari bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Srijana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I heard that in Dwapar Yuga, everyone knew that Lord Vishnu was the supreme. So why is it that Dhritarashtra, he knew of the Vedic knowledge, he knew of the Vedas, but he didn't raise his sons as Vaishnavas?
He tried, but they were a different mindset. He was brought up in a family. Yeah, he was, in one sense, he was favorable to Krishna and Pandavas. He took care of the Pandavas when they were young, along with Bhishma also took care of the Pandavas when they were young. But then it came to vested interests, and that broke the relationship. The Pandavas were the rightful heir to the throne. Duryodhana wanted the throne. He was a qualified leader, but he wasn't meant to lead. Pandavas, Yudhisthira was meant to be the next king. He was the eldest among the Pandavas and the heir to the throne. So Dhritarashtra, he knew what was right and what wasn't right, but he couldn't do it because of his attachment to whatever his son wanted.
Thank you very much.
I use the example over and over again that people in the material world, they smoke cigarettes, but on the package there's warnings that there is so many health crises that can occur, even death from smoking cigarettes. Still, they smoke. Not just a few, but many, because of attachment. Attachment to sense gratification. Attachment to sense gratification can cause one to be blinded or reinterpret actual life in a less important way. It's not so important to be Krishna conscious. Of course, I can be Krishna. I know Krishna consciousness is the best thing, but I'll do that when I get 80. Not now. Right now, I have to enjoy life. But where's the enjoyment? So yeah, people will minimize the importance of Krishna consciousness or postpone Krishna consciousness, even if they have some understanding of it, just to go on with their attachment to material life. Attachment makes you blind. You can't even see what is right and what is wrong. All you can see is to fulfill your own desires. Doesn't matter what it takes, just that's the goal.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And sorry.
Thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, I was just going to say this attachment to the sense gratification is the worst one, Guru Maharaj. So difficult to overcome.
Yeah. People,
There is, sorry.
people will become attached to things that are detrimental to themselves.
Yeah,
They somewhat know it, but they block it out by reasoning in a different way, that it's not so bad.
yeah. They've got all the answers to whatever you try and explain. They don't want to listen because this attachment to this sense gratification, especially the taste, the intoxication, is so bad.
Yeah, I was talking to one doctor and he was telling me as many of his doctor colleagues, they drink. They come home after their work, and they start drinking and they start abusing their family members.
Mm.
Alcoholism, you lose all sense of civility.
Yeah, it's hard, really hard.
Bhagavan Chaitanya, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, that example of I forget his name. He became the dog and the snake. That was fascinating. That is so true. That is such a great analogy.
Can I tell you an anecdote that goes along with the story?
Right.
I'll tell you an anecdote, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
I gave that lecture in Chicago one time to a large group of people. And, half of the people I didn't even know. And they came, they were all Indians. So at the end of the class, one man came up to me and he was looking really sheepish, And he looked at me and he said, Maharaj, my name is Kailash.
Yes, Kailash.
So I was very merciful. I said, I think the story was for you.
The story is really for all of us, devotees. Yeah. So Maharaj, recently I was in a group that was mostly Karmi, and they are super curious. Of course, they blame me for abandoning them and everything, and then always curious of what I'm doing and why I'm not doing all that sense gratification anymore much. Um, so one of the questions that keeps coming up is somebody who doesn't have faith. One person said, "Hey, how can you explain? You're saying God this, God that. How can you explain a child that is born with cancer? A child is just born, and 6 months later they get cancer." Said, so that proves that there is no God. I said that is not true. That our religion has a theory for that. It's called the transmigration of the soul. So this means they are not in their first inning, they're in their seventh inning or something like that. And that actually ended up upsetting them more than helping them. So I just gave up. It's like after a while.
Because they thinking you're copping out, but they
Yeah.
can't give an answer. They can't give an answer either.
Yes, they cannot.
Why it's happening? All I can say is that's life. But
Yeah.
we say that the living entity trans what's the word?
Migration.
Transits from one body after another. And Krishna explains that by using the analogy that even in this life, we're going from one body to another, from boyhood to youthhood to middle age to old age. We're getting different bodies. The body is not growing, the body's changing. When they say it's growing, that's a false understanding. It's changing. Even the scientists will say you get a whole new cellular body after 7 years. The body changes
Yeah.
completely after 7
Every
years.
cell in your body has been replaced after 7 years. Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes you might look at a picture of yourself when you were, like a young kid, and now you're old. And there you can't even connect the fact that that was you. people either can't see it either unless you tell them, oh, that was me. Oh, that was you.
Oh yeah, yes, that happens. Yes.
Oh, the body's changing. So that change continues life after life. It doesn't stop. Because the understanding is the subtle body inculcates different desires, and those desires are not finished at the time of death. And therefore, in order to fulfill those desires, we have to get another body and continue in the cycle of birth and death until we actually develop spiritual desires.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell them the truth, they get angry.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, very upset, very upset. Like, oh, you're blaming a child for. And I was like, this child was Hitler. It's hard to imagine. Well, it was.
But then you can throw it back on them. What's your experience?
Yeah, there is no. I'm not aware of any other system of religion that explains this. As well as we even have a lecture where we say why bad things happen to good people, and this is the only thing that explains it.
Well, another way you can say is you look around, you see people are different,
Mhm,
bodies, different cultures, different material situations. Then can you explain why that happens? They can't.
mhm. No, no.
We can explain that, yes, that this is due to their previous activities in another birth, and now it manifests in this. That's why there's varieties of types of birth.
Yeah, yeah. And even there is the mercy of not all your karma is broken up over. If you have too much bad karma, it's broken up over several lives. Is that true, Maharaj?
It depends on the nature of the karma.
Mhm.
Some karma comes quickly, some karma has to come only when you can pay for it. Just like if you have a debt and you don't have any money, then you can go insolvent or you can claim bankruptcy. But you can't do that with karma. You have to eventually come to the point of responding to your karma. So if you build up enough good karma, then the bad karma will ultimately be destroyed in due course of time.
Wonderful, Maharaj.
Or you'll get the results of your karma quicker. It's not destroyed, it just comes to fruition quicker, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the example is if you can't pay the debt, get the money, then you can pay the debt.
Yeah. So that might also explain why a good devotee or a great devotee can have intense physical problems, right, Maharaj? Like maybe they're trying to get it out in this birth.
Yeah, there's something there that we can't see. It's not so easily explainable.
Mhm.
Some great rishis, Astavakra was a rishi he was bent in 8 places.
Mhm.
And when he would walk, it would look quite, for some, quite hilarious.
Mm.
You see people today even like that. No one can
Yes.
explain the differences, why people are so different, while material positions are so different, why people are born into rich families, why another person is born in. Well, they will say that's just their luck, but luck doesn't give you any answer. It's just a word.
Yes.
Mm.
You can go to India and there are astrologers who are known as Briggle readers,
Mhm.
tell you everything about your past life and everything about this life and also
Yeah.
about your future life.
Yeah. There is a variation of this in Tamil Nadu. I forget what it's called. Nadi something they call it. They read from some type of book, and they are extraordinarily accurate.
Yeah,
And yeah, and they're and yeah.
because in material life, we divide everything in past, present, and future, but there's no such thing. One who can see beyond past, present, and future can see the future and the past and the present.
Mm.
that requires certain intelligence. It's not even a spiritual quality. It's just highly developed intelligence.
Some type of body of knowledge.
Hmm. Mhm.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was a
Hare Krishna.
really
Thank you,
nice
Maharaj.
practical
Thank you.
question. And it's nice to see you with full energy and enthusiasm. You
Thank you,
always bring so
Maharaj.
much energy.
It's
Thank
great to
you.
see your smile, Maharaj.
Thank you. Before we go to Amritanam Mataji, there is a question waiting in the chat by Prahlad Narsimha Prabhu. Is it okay, Maharaj? Shall I read that?
You're in charge.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We see in the purport that after the death of his father, a son goes to offer sacrifice at the lotus feet of Vishnu at Gaya, and thus delivers the father's soul if the father is fallen. What does it mean, delivering of soul here, as a soul takes the next birth according to the karma?
Well, but by that sacrifice, the father can get elevated to a better birth. That's all.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what about the karma? That's what I think Prabhuji wants to know. If his karmas are not good, can this sacrifice help him to elevate?
Yeah. If
Okay.
they perform, it's called pinda.
Mhm.
Lord Chaitanya also did the pinda ceremony for his departed father just to teach the importance of it.
Mhm.
And what's his name? There's ceremonies that go on, and Advaita Acharya was doing a ceremony, and part of the ceremony is to elect the most qualified person within the assembly. And he did that, and he gave it to Srila Haridas Thakur, who was by social convention considered to be an outcast.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Hope Prahlad Nasimha Prabhu, that will help you. Amrita Namat, he says thank you. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Amrita Namataji, please go ahead. And thank you
Yeah,
for waiting.
no problem. Just a short follow-up, Maharaj, from what you answered to Bhagwan Chaitanya Prabhu, that when we talk about this astrology, the astrology is basically our past karma charts. So if we are living a material or karmi life, I think that applies more. But when we come into the devotional life, how far it is applicable for us
Then everything
to
changes.
the astrology.
Yeah, because then everything changes. Then you put yourself under the control of the Daivi Shakti, the spiritual energy. And this astrological readings take a backseat because Krishna takes charge of the devotee. So they get Krishna karma. Yeah. So Prabhupada would say, it's Prabhupada would quote Nectar of Devotion where it says, if you clap your hands in front of the deities, then it's like all of the birds of material karma fly away. So a devotee doesn't build up more karma when they enter into Krishna consciousness. They may still have some residual karma that needs to be burnt up, and that will take place soon as they execute devotional service. Just like the example is given that when the fan is running, you cut the electricity off, the fan will keep spinning until it loses all its spinning power. In the same way, when we enter into Krishna consciousness, we still may get some effects of our previous karma, but they're minimized. You don't get the full brunt of the karma because then Krishna allows for that devotee to engage in devotional service where their previous karma doesn't affect their execution of devotional service. Prabhupada would use the example, you may have been a murderer in your previous life, but you haven't paid for that sin. So now you come to Krishna consciousness. And then you enter into Krishna consciousness and you use the example, you cut your finger. There is a little bit of a reaction for that sinful activity, but that's all. So our karma is minimized when we enter into Krishna consciousness. And as it's being minimized, it's also being destroyed. And then at one point it'll stop completely. There'll be no more material karma. Then you have akarma, which is devotional karma, which is not karma at all, but the results of devotional service. That's free from karma and vikarma. It's called akarma.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. This concept as it basically scares more when devotees are referring to the charts when it comes to their choosing their spouses and basically childbirth as well. But more scary is when they choose their spouses and they refer to the charts, and the charts are like really scaring them that what will happen. But then when one considers that you are devotee as well, you are under the shelter of the internal potency of Krishna. So that is where they lack pacifying themselves, that yeah, we need to be aware that we are under the shelter of Krishna as well. So that is why I asked this question, that how far we should be reliable to the charts, even when it comes to the spouse.
I have a different formula for determining whether two people should get married, and it's supported by all of the senior devotees in the movement. And that is a person who knows both persons quite well will say this match is good or this match is not good. A well-wisher. It's more reliable than astrological karma. That's what we use as priority. Find that person who knows you both and then ask them to give you his or her opinion, saying, yeah, it looks like it'll work. No, it looks like it ain't gonna work. You can tell by personalities. You can tell by personalities. But there are exceptions where personalities are completely different and it works because they somehow transcend all of those qualities and come to the spiritual platform. But that's a rare situation. But it's also does happen though. But getting married is like throwing the dice. You're gambling. So if you're Shakuni, then you always win. But if you're not, because your dice are loaded. But anyway.
Yes, Kumaraj. Thank you. That makes so much sense, Kumaraj, because the way you're telling the optional way, that is more sensible because it comes with Guru's mercy, with the seniors' mercy. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank
Good.
you.
All right, Sukava, we have a question on. I have a small group of devotees here. There's one question here.
Yeah,
From
please.
Sri Devi,
Thank
is
you.
it?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
So it's from Sri Devi.
Okay.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
I'll repeat the question.
Okay.
Speaking about, the strong opposition to taking up devotional service when it comes to the children, especially of Indian parents. and then the ensuing drama that follows, guilt tripping, emotional blackmail, so many things. And the poor young person is torn between a genuine desire to be with devotees, to engage in devotional service, to come to temple, versus loyalty and obligation to family, to parents especially. We have raised you, we have brought you up, we have educated you, we have done this, we have done that, and now you want to keep running off here and there, you're not coming for this marriage. I mean, so many things. So in this situation, that poor person feels so torn. So how can we be helpful in this situation, which has to be very sensitively handled?
She's asking a question based on counseling. That a family member will want to become Krishna conscious, and the family will be adamantly against them and give them reasons why they shouldn't go, based on what they have done for that sibling throughout their whole life. And then the person gets torn between responsibilities of the family and the real desire to become God conscious. So what do we do to help a person like that? I would say you stay with the family, but at the same time, you continue to practice Krishna consciousness, even if the family members don't like it. Because you should explain to them that the duty of the elders in the family is to guide their children towards Krishna. That's from Shastra. And then when it gets impossible, then you leave. In the meantime, you can preach to them also. Same response I gave to Amritanam earlier.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Now we can go to Revati Mataji. Revati Mataji. Please go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to the Prabhupada. My question is about attachment. Attachment is, I wanted to clarify my understanding, Guru Maharaj. Attachment is more like a material. So here, Dhritarashtra's attachment to his son Duryodhana, even though he's engaged in various activities, he's very much attached to him. And Kunti Maharani also prays to Krishna for like your detachment, from the bodily relationships. So what is the difference, Guru Maharaj? Because Kunti Maharani, Pandavas are devotees. So what kind of detachment she's praying for? Or should you understand the difference?
She's saying because she is surrounded by aristocratic and favorable relatives, it diverts her attention away from Krishna. So she wants those attachments to go so she can focus fully on Krishna. She doesn't see her relationships as being a hindrance, only it's just a diversion. A woman, Prabhupada said, a man has one family, a woman has two families. The one woman, when she gets married, she enters into the husband's family also, and that becomes her family too. But for the man, it's not like that. So she says the Pandavas and the Vrishnis both. She wants detachment from them so she can focus completely on Krishna. So we can remember you again and again. And that way we can free ourselves from this repetition of birth and death. She wants exclusive devotion to Krishna.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji, for a nice question. Prahlad Narsinga Prabhu, I saw your hand as well. If you have any questions, but we will go to Ananya Bhakti Radhika Mataji first. Mataji?
Sukava, wait till I'm finished before you jump to the next person.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so Revati, it'd be nice take some time and read those prayers because they're the most powerful prayers
Sure.
practically in Bhagavatam. They
Yes.
really give you an insight what is real devotion.
Sure, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, I was also like meditating on Sridevi Mataji's question, as when we come to Krishna conscious, also we still have a little bit of attachments to family, but not completely like towards even though we have the desire to serve, completely focus on this, but still we have those attachments to the extended families. So I
Yeah,
was
okay, so yeah, but use those attachments to bring the family members to Krishna. That's all.
yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah, and there you're successful. You have made your husband and your two sons Krishna consciousness. It's amazing.
Thanks, Guru Maharaj. All your blessings and mercy was
Dedication to Krishna consciousness. And your what we say your responsibility in the family is being an ideal mother, or ideal husband, or the ideal wife. You haven't shirked your responsibilities in that area, but still you focused on Krishna. And because they have love and respect for you, they also became interested in Krishna consciousness. That was perfection.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. It's all your mercy and devotee association. I was thinking about the extended family, um,
I
like
forget.
about them. So now that we have to visit India, so I was just thinking about, how to handle all these situations. Yeah.
Just do the same thing. Say, come to the temple and chant and dance with us, have some prasadam, and see the goal of your life standing in front of you.
I'll try, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, your blessings. Yeah.
Okay, Sukhavaka, you're on.
Thank you. Ananya Bhakti Radhika Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you.
Mataji, you muted yourself.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My question was, uh, like, what is the difference between like Krishna killed so many demons, and they were liberated, but they didn't get the bhakti. So when they get liberated, they went to Brahman. So what is the difference between liberation and not getting bhakti? Like, what is this liberation called?
Well, there's different kinds of liberation, and the demons get Sahuji Mukti. And that's one of the liberations where, when they're killed by Krishna, they enter into the Brahman effulgence. And then they stay there for a temporary period of time, and then they fall back down to the material world. After some time, it's temporary. But it's also long term, but it's still temporary. And then some demons, such as Agasura, he got a higher liberation. He got Sarupya Mukti. Because the last thing he saw when he died was the beautiful form of Krishna. And so he attained Krishna's same form. That was a rare situation for a demon to get that. Krishna is very merciful. So yeah, Brahman effulgence is also a temporary thing. You enter into it, you get some freedom from material suffering. And after some time, you exhaust your time in that energy, and then you fall down again into the material world to take up material activities again. It's temporary, but it's long term, not just temporary, but long term temporary.
Guru Maharaj, like four Kumaras went to the Brahman and they stayed for long and they came back. So, like the demons who were liberated went to Brahman and came back as a human form, or like any species they got.
The four Kumaras were never they were never they were Brahmavadis. They were practicing impersonalism as the actual goal of spiritual practice. They weren't like the Mayavadis who were envious, or the Gyanis who were also just simply trying to cultivate freedom from material suffering. They were worshiping the Supreme Lord as the impersonal Brahman effulgence. And they got purified as soon as they came in contact with the lotus feet of the Lord. And they adopted personalism. They actually became personalists to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the demons, what was your question related to the demons?
So the demons, like who get liberated, they go to Brahman for temporary time and they come back. So they come back to the material world in a human form or with any species they get.
That you can't really determine. That's up to higher powers to determine that. Who can say? But they come back, just accept that fact.
They have to go to Yamaraj's kingdom for due punishment before they take birth, Guru Maharaj.
Sri Devi's asking, do they have to go to Yamaraj's kingdom for punishment? No, they were purified simply by being killed. Just like Prahlad Maharaj asked for liberation for his father, Anikasipu. He asked from Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev said he's already liberated.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for clearing this. Hare Krishna.
Nice questions. Thank you. Intelligent questions.
Thank you, Mataji, for that lovely questions. And must say that your profile picture is so beautiful. Krishna looks so, so beautiful in that picture.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Sri Jana Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So in Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and all those yugas, was it revealed that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Vedic literatures, or was it only revealed after he left from the planet?
Well, Krishna appears for Yuga in cycles, and that's not the first time. Yeah, the Shastras are eternal. Teni Brahma Ida Arikapaye, the Shastras come from Lord Brahma, who receives that knowledge from Krishna directly. So it's not like Krishna was revealed after he came. It was always known that Krishna was the Supreme Lord through Shastra, through Guru. It's there. It's in the Shastras.
So why is it that people didn't believe that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even when he was here?
Because they couldn't recognize him as such. They weren't qualified. Krishna says, only by devotional service can you understand me. Otherwise, they accept him as an ordinary person, or even if not ordinary, just maybe a very powerful personality. Even devotees, they have that same problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Qualification
Mataji.
is
Sorry.
bhakti, not gyan, not karma, bhakti. It says that Krishna came in contact with millions, hundreds of millions of living entities when he was here. Only between 100 and 200 actually knew he was the Supreme. That was a statement by Srila Prabhupada. It's mentioned that many times. Very few knew because they weren't engaged in bhakti. Krishna can be standing right next to you and you won't even know it unless you're engaged in bhakti. You'll just think it's a really nice person, that's all.
It will be nice if we notice Krishna as well. That's the thing, Guru Maharaj.
You notice him, but you'll forget because you're not engaged in bhakti. Because Krishna doesn't try to prove he's the God. He doesn't do that. He simply acts in his position as the Supreme Lord. And then if you worship him, glorify him, serve him, you get the realization of his identity. You walk into the temple and you see the deity, and it looks like just some statue, that's all. We walk past the deity like it's, it's just some statue. But it's not. It's Krishna standing there personally. But do we have that understanding? Do we act in that way every time we come into the temple? We walk past Srila Prabhupada like he's not there. But he's there in the form of his deity form. Takes transcendental consciousness to actually recognize the Supreme Lord. Or purified consciousness, I should say. Purified consciousness. Okay. We have questions.
Yes, from Raj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, my question is about attachment. That some people, they are extremely attached to their family or their parents, while others are not. So, what forms this attachment style? Is it their destiny, or is it their childhood, or is it their free will that they
Everything.
choose everything?
Yeah, it's a combination. Could be one way, one more the other way. So many things. How does attachment develop? Different ways. You may be attached to someone because you like them, or you may be attached to someone because they did something for you. How attachment develops really is in a multitude of ways. You might be attached to someone because you can get something from them. That's called marriage in today's world. I'm attached to you because I know you can fulfill all my desires for happiness. Ooh. So there's different ways or different ways that one attachment develops, not just one way. I might be attached to you because I want to be like you. That's another way to be attached to another person.
One more question I have, Maharaj, is the generation born after 2000, Gen Z generation, they are generally they don't believe in the system of family, and they are less attached with their parents or their family. So is it an advantage or is it a disadvantage that they don't believe in this family system and they're questioning the system?
Well, I can only give you Prabhupada's statement. He said, because the Americans were not so much attached to family relationships, they came to me and became devotees. The problem with Indians is they're so attached to families. And they'll put their families over everything else. They'll even put their pictures of their family members on the altar and do puja. That's the tendency anyway. But in America, families got so divided by economic and social activities that it was easy to break loose from the families because the division was already there simply by the lifestyle they were living. Now it's happening in India. You have to go. You give life to our atmosphere. Okay, thank you. So I'll be there on Sunday. I'll have to give you the time, but I'm not sure right now. My schedule is not fixed yet for Sunday. All right, yeah, so that was an advantage, as Prabhupada said, that because of that less attachment to family, the Westerners, they came to me and became devotees.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for the answer. Hare Krishna.
That was really good questions, Raj Prabhu. Guru Maharaj, is it okay if I ask a piggy question on the Raj Prabhu's question? What about the Varnashram system?
Let
If
me
we,
say something first.
oh, sorry.
I've been told that the classes are too long now. And so we're actually over an hour and a half.
Yes,
So
we
we
are.
can take one, at most two more questions, and we have to end. So just take, if you want to say something, then we can take Bhavya, and then we have to stop because I just got a message today from the collective Zoom committee that the classes are going up to 2 hours, and they're only scheduled for 1 hour actually. So I have to follow.
I know, it is tight. It's just I was just worried about Varnashram system and the support to the elders and the ladies and everything is maintained when the family system is there. How do we understand that, Guru Maharaj?
What's the question?
So, when the family, when Raj Prabhu said that if the younger generation is detached from the family, and okay, the advantage is there that it is easy for them to convert into Krishna consciousness. But what about the support to the actual family when they need it? Elders, they need the support and all. They don't get it.
Yeah, they don't. It falls through. They have to find it somewhere else. A lot of times they wind up in elderly homes and are be taken care of by paid persons,
I know. Okay, Bhavya Prabhu, please go ahead. He's there with you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I had a question. As you explained that in the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna was mentioned in the Vedas as well, but people could not recognize him. But Guru Maharaj, what about Lord Rama? Lord Rama was also mentioned in Vedas. Why could people not recognize him? Because it is so clearly mentioned that he is going to be the Prince of Ayodhya, son of Dashrath Maharaj. Um, all these details are given in the scripture. So why people didn't recognize him as God and just as a prince? That's my question, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, good question, because I don't know why they won't recognize him either. So, they have their independent way of thinking. But it comes back to the same principle. Unless you're devoted to the Lord, you can't recognize the Lord. He
Yes, Guru.
appears in a different way to you. Some powerful person, maybe an incarnation, but not as the supreme. Krishna says, only by unalloyed devotional service can I be understand as I am, standing before you and thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into mysteries of mice. Only by bhakti can you approach me. No other way. You can approach Krishna by karma and gyan, but Krishna won't respond. He'll give you the results of your karma and gyan, but not himself. So yeah, I mean, the Gita explains that. What is that last verse in the Gita? Last verse. No. Oh, I meant to say the last verse in the 6th chapter.
Oh, Yoginam Api
Yeah.
Sarvesham
Yeah. Yoginam api sarvesham matkatanat manaha stratavat bhajate yomam te me yukto tamo yaha. One who abides me in devotional service, he is the highest of all yogi. Yeah. It's
Yes,
only
Guru
one.
Maharaj.
Even if they know Ram is God, they won't worship him because they have no devotion to him. Nor does Ram reveal himself to them either. Is that okay?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Also, something just clicked that just like scriptures also mentioned, even the Shruti and the other Smritis also mention the incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityan Prabhu and other associates as well in some scriptures. Still, people don't accept it. Even though the references are so clear. So now I understand, Guru Maharaj, after connecting the dots.
They don't want to recognize you. They want to stay
Yes.
where they are. And if you recognize that God is there, and then you have to surrender. They don't want that either. Okay, I'm going to have to say goodbye because
Thank you so
we
much,
are.
Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so much for everyone's question. And I don't see any more question apart from Prahlad Narsingam Prabhu wanted some more clarification about Pindadan.
You can ask me.
Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you for your time. And thank you, devotees, for participating so nicely and asking the question. It was really nice session. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much, Guru
Sukha
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.